Now, of course, this is another bigger one, but solar gain. So we love to use deciduous trees. So along the north side of a home, we'd often build out an open pergola, whether it's a metre or 1200 or 2 meters. And then we encourage our clients to grow a deciduous vine up. What a deciduous vine does, obviously, is it grows leaves in summer when you want to keep the sun out, and it sheds those leaves in winter when you want to get that sun in. And then ideally, with the sun coming in, you do want that sun to hit a thermal mass. So if it's hitting a timber floor, the timber floor is not really going to store that heat. But if it's hitting an exposed concrete floor or a brick wall, it will absorb that heat. And then as the home cools of an evening, well, I mean, this is much more important in summer, to be honest. But I mean, we really don't get enough radiant heat in winter, especially in areas like Melbourne. Maybe Sydney does, certainly Queensland would, but Melbourne has about a 6-hour difference in sunlight from the peak of summer to the depths of winter. So we just don't get enough. But where you can get it, you want it on a thermal mass so it can draw that heat out, absorb that heat, and release it into the home. And be very active with curtains. And use thick curtains on all windows that are going to help, especially poor performing windows, but all windows. Even the best performing windows are a hole in your insulation. So I would encourage you to install really good curtains or blinds. Honeycomb blinds can work really well, but also some heavy drapes or curtains. Just insulate that home, just another layer to keep that heat within your home. And number 5 is the heater itself. We love to use electric hydronic heating. It's the most efficient type of heating, and especially if you've got it in slab. I know it's a larger renovation thing, but in slab, again, the thermal mass stores that heat so you can operate it during the day when the sun's out, and it still holds it of an evening and releases it of an evening. Of course, radiator panels are very, very good with hydronic again. But where hydronic isn't viable, let's say, the next best is really the reverse cycle split systems. They're very energy efficient. They ultimately work on the same technology, which is a heat pump. Of course, they do blow air opposed to being the radiant heat, but they're a great option, especially zoning the home, getting the split system or in the right place, and using fans where you can. Home I lived in many years ago, it was the way of it in Masson Ranges, where you big dumb home again, you burn wood, and it's the only way to really keep a home like this warm or bearable, to be honest. And we would run the fan just to spread that through the home. You can do the same thing with a split system. Another one that people often go to is the electric panel heaters. They can work great. They work on the same radiant heating system that the hydronic radiators do, but they draw a lot of energy, a lot of electricity. They are expensive to run, very expensive to run, but they are a lovely heat. My tip would be, if you can't do the hydronic electric, I'd be going for the split system.